Welcome to this edition of MDM's QuickTake. I'm Tom Gale. My guest today is Mike Marks of Indian River Consulting Group. Welcome back, Mike.
Thanks, Tom. I love this fact that it's almost a regular routine we're doing.
I'd like to talk today about here we are, beginning of September, and I'd like to talk about planning. We're entering the 2024 planning season for many companies, and in 2 weeks, we're going to bring together more than 200 people in this industry who have been on multi-year transformation journeys. They're going to be sharing their case studies, as well as a group of consultants and service providers who have been supporting these transformation efforts across the industry. So when you think about key business objectives for 2024 across sales growth, margin expansion, and increasing the value of the business in terms of EBITDA multiple valuation, which, not coincidentally, the McKinsey distribution team is going to be sharing their latest research on as our conference keynote, I'd like your takes on where you think the most leverage is for distributors and where they may be missing the boat for 2024.
Wow. Well, to me, it is still all about the money, and what Kevin and Alex are going to lay out is basically, how do you get that multiple? What do you do? And it's about being able to outperform everybody else instead of just selling service with excellent people. But when you talk about how these things impact us, I think next year is going to be special because it's 2024. So we've got an election year. We've got all these global tensions. We've got a war. We've got China flexing muscle, and while in the meantime they're collapsing internally. And the whole COVID debt bomb is coming home to rest because now everybody's got to figure out how to pay for all that. So the economy is just going to be really frothy. So any distributor that's going to do well next year is going to, by definition, they're going to be light on their feet. They're going to be able to sense these changes quickly, and they're going to be able to react quickly because speed is a weapon. So the main thing to me, and this goes right back to what we're talking about at Shift, is it's not just about the distributor. If I was on the board of a distributor, I would say, I want to start taking a look at what we're going to do and plan. But instead of just thinking about me, I'd be thinking about my customers, because all those things I just described about the economy and the frothiness of everything, customers are going through it too. And distributors need to go out and not use their salespeople, but actually interview customers to find out where their pain is, right? We sell more painkillers than we do vitamins. People want to get out of pain and go do something for them. So the issue, if you think about a lot of the owner-operator lifestyle folks, they try to make a bunch of small bets and they'll subscribe to all the free newsletters and get good ideas to go do stuff. And then they talk about it and it's hard to get anything off. But they need to make a larger commitment, either spend more money and like go to a Shift conference, or because you're going to make a bigger investment, but you're obviously going to get a bigger payoff. But fundamentally, you need to actually get in the game instead of just talking about it. And I think what's going to happen, and I think that one of the things that's going to be really important to people if they care about their customers is the keynote you've got Maria Bolden doing, who's the senior sales executive at Gartner. She's got some really exciting new stuff. I mean, the fact that I get to be a part of this conference and co-host and seeing what these guys are doing, I mean, the answers are all there in terms of, how do you put the plan together? So if somebody comes, it's going to be relatively easy for them to figure it out because you've got that whole assessment thing. Well, with the thing in the front end about where am I? What do I need to do first? I think that's really important. But even if they don't come, they need to sit and have a serious conversation in this fourth quarter that's coming up and figure out, what are you going to do that's different? What are you going to invest? And if you don't invest and you're just trying to do the same stuff better, you're past the best by date. That's all. Sorry, that's just an opinion.
Do you see specific opportunities in either the sales growth aspect or margin expansion in terms of how you see 2024 shaping up? I'm not asking you to predict the future. I'm just wondering, based on what you've seen distributors do this year, where they've gained some competitive advantage in terms of how they've found a way to grow revenue or expand their margins.
Well, I mean, there's if you just think about it, there's probably a half a dozen things that have been going on in 21 and 22 and 23. As an example, get rid of all these geographically based field sales territories, take 30% of the small accounts away and give it to inside sales. And virtually every distributor that does that sees those accounts they take away, they see like a 30% growth in the very first year they do that. I mean, so this is not rocket science, right? And then there's so many other things they do. The second thing you see, and I mean, you've got a lot of some of the software, some pretty cool guys talking about strategic pricing and how all that goes, and taking salespeople out of the negotiation, or at least put a structural framework around it. And in the PE playbook, I mean, this is like on page 1. You put in some strategic pricing. It's worth 2 points of margin, 200 points, 200 basis points. And by the way, that's all drop through. That goes to the bottom line. So people have already done these things. They're now, I mean, you've got a lot of folks at the meeting coming up in a couple of weeks that are way beyond that. But I mean, if somebody hasn't even started those kinds of things, you say, what are they doing? They're just a lifestyle business, and just, they're just, and it's fine. There's nothing wrong with being a lifestyle business, but they shouldn't confuse themselves about what they are and where they're going to go, because at some point it's an uninvestable return.
This is the 7th year that you and I have co-hosted this event. And as you say, there's going to be people in this room who are going to be sharing what they've been doing over these past 7 years along those lines, in terms of how they've recrafted their sales team specifically to create their outside as more hunters and very focused on new business development, and really realign those roles very carefully with incredibly strong results.
Yep. Well, but the point is that every one of those companies made an executive decision that I'm not going to sit here. I'm going to invest, and I'm going to do something different. I may not figure it all out right away, but I'm going to get it done. And if you look at those examples, because some of these guys are on like version 4 of their innovation process. Yep. I mean, and to somebody that hadn't started, it looks like Star Wars. But for folks that are still just sort of sitting around watching, heaven help them. I mean, it's great. I mean, to me, if you look at these industries, you get further into the consolidation. I think this goes to some of the stuff McKinsey's going to be sharing in terms of their new research.
Yep.
A lot of these companies that get acquired, a lot of those are going to turn into asset sales instead of business acquisitions, because all they're really looking for is assets at this point. And the value of a distributor that doesn't have the high growth and doesn't have the high profit and has a high working capital sales because they've had it forever, what that business is worth is going to decline every single year. And when McKinsey actually puts out the hard data and people see it, I think it's going to wake them up.
Yeah. Maybe
not in a good way, but it's kind of like, even a nightmare or a leg cramp in the middle of the night certainly gets you wide awake. So you just, we need to do something.
Yep. And a great way to avoid leg cramps is by showing up at shift September 18th to 20th, where you are going to be able to tap into an incredible depth of expertise. And we're going to have some fun too. So, Mike, I think that's a good place to leave it. I'm really excited to co-host this event with you again this year for the 7th time.
Maybe we'll get it right this time, Tom.
Continuous improvement, I think, is one of the hallmarks of our relationship. Look forward to it.
It's great. Thanks again, Tom.
Thank you.
See you in a couple of weeks.